Here's problem number 7. So we're going to start by filling in the information that we know. 33 degrees, that is an angle. Lowercase a, side A, that is 6. And then side B would be 10. So what we're going to need to do here is find angle B. We're going to set that up using the law of sines. I know I can do that because I have both of my letter A's. I have a matching set. So I will find B by doing the sine of 33 over 6, 33 over 6, equals the sine of B over 10. You want to cross multiply 10 times the sine of 33 and divide that by 6. Cross multiply and then divide that. Calculator in degree mode, 10 times the sine of 33, close the parenthesis, divided by 6. And you can see you get like a really small decimal here, the 0.907. That's because you still have this sign right there on B, which means you need to do the inverse. So then make sure you do sine -1, sine inverse of that answer, of that decimal right there, the 0.9077. Now, if you do it, make sure that you either use your answer button, so second negative, or you take that and type in every single decimal, or just go up to the top and hit enter. And you can kind of fill that in, but don't round it to just 0.9. All right, that gives you 65, and we're gonna round that to 65.2. 65.2 degrees for B. And then for C, you do 180 minus those. 180 minus 33 minus 65.2. That gets me 81.8 degrees. And then my last step is to be to find side C. So I'm gonna use my A's because they're both whole numbers right now. I'm gonna avoid that one. So I'm gonna set up using the A's and the C's. Sine of 33 degrees over 6 equals the sine of 81.8 degrees over the C. I can't avoid using that decimal. I'll cross multiply and divide. So cross multiply the two that you know, and then divide by the other one. 6 times the sine of 81.8. Make sure you close the parenthesis. Divided by the sine of 33. Close the parenthesis. And that's getting me 10.9. And notice the C is by itself, so you don't need to inverse that like we did on the last one. Here you had sine B, here's just C by itself. So you get C equals 10.9, and I'll fill that in, 10.9 right there. Now, for this problem, once you get this triangle done, you do have to check for a second triangle, and I'll always give you the space to do the work. So only when you see this will you have to actually do it. You're gonna take the first 3 numbers that they gave you, and you're gonna copy these over into this space. Those are the only ones that you bring over from one to the other. So copy over 33 degrees, copy over the 6, and copy over the 10. Nothing else, the answers that you found comes along with it. Then to find this B, what you do is you do 180 degrees minus the B from over here, which will be our 65.2, and that'll be what we call the other B, which will be the B for this problem. So I'm gonna do 180 minus 65.2, and that gets me 114.8. So I'm using that, but not exactly bringing it over. 114.8 degrees. And now I can do 180 minus these two to help me find that third angle. Subtract those in your calculator. And that gets you 32.2. So because I got a positive number, it means I do have a second triangle. If you had gotten a negative something right here, that means you don't have a second triangle and you cross it out and you write no second triangle. But I've got 32.2, it's a positive number, so I can just go ahead and fill that in and then find my side C from there. So find little c. Again, I'm going to use these two numbers, sine of 33 degrees over 6 equals sine of 32.2 degrees over side C. Cross multiply, divide by this one, and notice you have C by itself already, so you won't need to do any inversing. 6 times the sine of 32.2 divided by that. Calculator, 6 times the sine of 32.2, close it, divided by the sine of 33. And that gets you and we're gonna round that to 5.9. It was 5.87. C is by itself, so that means the answer we got on our calculator is 5.9 and 5.9, and there you have your first and your second triangle answers.